Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. Sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
All righty, here we are. 13 days to go till the election. One more time to look at the map. We're going to color in our map, boys and girls, like we've been doing for the last, 2.5 months. And here's the good news. This will be the last map that is done. This election is just going to come down to day of vote. So whichever one of these candidates can get the most votes on election day is going to be the winner. Right now, the election is opened up for some. I'm casting my vote next week and in my state. And so we're going to go ahead and just get that over with. My state's going to go red. We'll pull that up on the map. And but we can go ahead and get it started. Shout out to everybody that's here now and everybody who'll be listening later. Big shout out to Art Nostell with the invite last night. I didn't see it until 4:30 this morning when I woke up. So but shout out to Art for the invite. And we'll just go ahead and get it started. Going to tackle some other topics here. I heard Dennis Sperling bring some things up here. So we'll talk about it. I did enjoy his podcast yesterday about and I think BGS kind of broke down some more things as well. I'm just gonna break it down into like 3 different categories here. Then that'll be it. Your election is 12 days when most people hear this, if they do. And we're gonna get into it right now. So let's go ahead and pull up let's pull up our polls. So first thing we always do here, share the screen. And here we go. So this is from 538.com. Left a link in the description. You all can check it out yourselves. But we're going to start with the Southern Smile. And you have to remember all these because when we color in our map, you'll get to see who wins. And again, I've already got my election map out there. I've got who I think is going to win. I did that a couple weeks ago. You are more than welcome to go check that out. So with this map, we're just going to simply go by who is ahead, unless it says even. So we'll start with Nebraska. I'm sorry, we'll start with Nevada. This is part of the Southern Smile, and as we saw last week, Harris is still up, but it's like this is all within the margin of error. So you can see right there, she's up by 0.3 of 1 point. Again, day of voting. Let's see if that changes. We don't know, but that's about as close as it can get. Besides being even, the next state in the Southern Smile is Arizona. You can see right there, Donald Trump is starting to pull ahead in that state. You can see it right there. Really, he started pulling ahead at the end of September. What happens at the end of September? Labor Day. That's when most of the kids came back. Came back from school. The parents saw how much money they spent over the summer, and people did not like that number. So you have a right track, wrong track number, heavily wrong track number. But we'll go ahead and continue to see this right here. And you can see Trump's up by now almost 2 points. I expect him to win this state. This is a major flip. Because this state went blue last election in 20. It is now going to go red. The next part of the Southern Smile is Georgia. So you'll say who's ahead in Georgia. You can see right here. Harris has not been ahead for a while, even though this is in the margin of error as well. This is almost 2 points. I expect Trump, and people are expecting Trump to win Georgia and Arizona now. We called this a few weeks ago. Nothing has really changed. Trump's lead is a little bit bigger. I mean, he had it at 2 points at one point. I think that's when we did our last show, but we had Trump winning this state. So then the next and final state of your Southern Smile is North Carolina. And let's see where we are in North Carolina. We're going to go right here. You can see Trump again at the end of September. You have Labor Day. This is when the election starts to form up. And then you can see right here, all the way through October, Trump is ahead. So when you hear people say things like, where's the election starting to break? It is breaking towards Trump. So I expect Trump to hold on in North Carolina as well. Now, let me pull up my map here. Let me take this off the screen. There we are. Take this off the screen here, and let me go pull up our map here, get this done. So I hope everybody's doing okay. Oh, that's right. Where is the map at? Still loading up. I apologize. All right, so we have to take all these states out that we had. And again, the map isn't going to change a whole lot. I promise you that. For my prediction map. Getting all these states out of here. You can look at the prediction map we did, and you'll see you're going to see almost the same map here. So let me go ahead and there we go. Let me pull this down here. Let's pull this down here. All righty. So let me go over here. And let's go 13 days ago. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the map. Share the screen. Share. Okay. Now y'all that shit. Y'all don't want to see that. So all right, here we go. All right. As you can see right here, this is an empty map. That's why everything is brown or tan, whichever color you wanna call it. That's fine. The first thing we'll do is we're going to start filling out the blue states. These are states that Kamala Harris is going to win. Okay. Make no mistake about it. Kamala Harris is going to win these states. We'll color all this in. Jersey. Yep. There we go. And these are states that she will definitely, let me double check here. These are the states that she will definitely win. Okay. These are definite win states. Then we go to the states. We're going to make these here. I got to change my color palette that are likely. That's Virginia and Colorado and New Mexico. Oh, Hawaii as well. She's going to win Hawaii. Hawaii is safe. Okay. So I think that's where we are. As you can see, once again, she starts out at 222 votes. Now we're going to fill in the states that Trump is going to definitely win. Again, he's going to definitely win these states. Hence why they're the dark red that you see. Here, let me, and then go to save. Indiana. Well, did I do it right? Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, and Ohio. Trump is at 189. Now we up Florida. I am sorry about that. Now we can color in Maine, and Maine is going. I think Maine 2 is likely going to be blue, and Nebraska is, I think it's Nebraska 3. I think so. That is what your map looks like. You look at the division. 224, that explains you have a divided country. That's what they're talking about. That's your electoral map. That means there's 93 votes up for grabs. So, according to 538.com, okay, Nevada was tilted towards Harris. Arizona is now a lean Trump. Now, that's a little bit pinker than last week. Georgia, again, leaning Trump. North Carolina is tilt Trump. Why? Because that was extremely close. But now we go to Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So, and you can see right now what I'm going to do with this. I've already said this. I did this last week. I had Pennsylvania in a slight tilt, like the tilt. But we can check these. Hold on. Let me pull that off. And let's just go back here to, do I not have it pulled? Let me pull it back up then. Let's pull 538 back up again, ladies and gentlemen. All righty. We're going to look at Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Okay. So let me bring up general election, national polls. We're looking at Pennsylvania first. Let me make sure I got that up on the map here. I know somebody's going to be hollering. Let me stop sharing. Let's go back to StreamYard, present, share. And here we go. Okay. So now you all should be able to see this. As you can see, once again, Harris doing well. And then you get to the end of September, and what happens? It's Labor Day happens, and now you can see Harris start to lose some momentum, losing momentum, and now Trump is up. This is Pennsylvania. All right, so we're gonna put that one in Trump as well. Again, it's 0.2%, so it's still within the margin. But for the sake of coloring the map for these tards out here who don't understand coloring, we're going to make that a red tilt state. Let's go to Michigan now. Once again, you can see right here, Harris is fine. Into September, Labor Day, summertime ends, kids go back to school. As you can see right here, look at that number right there. Look at her number coming down, pause, coming down. And now she's up by 0.2%. It's the same thing that Trump has in roughly Pennsylvania. So we're going to give this tilt towards Harris, even though this is not a good number for her. She needs to be up by at least 4 to 6 points, Pennsylvania. Which brings me back to the final state, which is Wisconsin. This is the last one we're going to color in. And again, I want you to look at the date. You can see the date above Harris's name. Right here, you get the Labor Day. Right in there. Right here. Look at Harris's number. Come down. You see it right there, all the way to right there. It's as close as it can get, folks. That's as close, 0.4%. So let's go ahead and let's stop sharing. Now let's put this back up there. So we see my prediction map here. So let me go to present, go to share. 270 for the win. Let's share my map. Yay, map. All right. So remember, Pennsylvania, now Trump is already at 264. Pennsylvania puts him over. Okay. He's up in Pennsylvania. Now, Harris is up in Michigan. Harris is up in Wisconsin. So that's now remember, my map was opposite here. My map had Harris winning and Trump here. Because I think Trump has hidden vote. But that's my election prediction map right there. But according to 538, that's your election right there. So Trump has 283, Harris is 255. Harris, according to this, all this information has come in. Harris has lost this race in the last 4 weeks. And this is why we've said, or Trump has won it, however you want to look at it. I've always said Harris could never win, but Trump could lose. It does look like Trump has rebounded, and it looks like he is headed for an electoral victory. Now we can get into some of the other stuff that I want to talk about that Dennis Sperling talked about. And again, this is a map according to 538.com. All right. That's that map. My map looks different. My map has Pennsylvania with Harris, Michigan with Harris, but Wisconsin for Trump. And I still think Trump gets Wisconsin because he's underpolled. He's been underpolled there for the last 2 election cycles. There's no reason to think that he's not being underpolled now. And so that's just my personal map. I've got it flipped, but Trump's still winning. It's just a matter of he get 274 or 285 or something like that. So I have him winning the election again, finishing it in the last 2 weeks of the election. And we just don't know about the day of voting. There's just no way to know about day of voting. Like there's nothing we can do about it. And that's since if the Republicans hit the same numbers they hit in 2020, Trump will win the election. That's all there is to it. Trump will win the election. So, but let me go to some of the things Dennis Sperling, Esquire, talked about in his podcast day before yesterday. So I'm going to talk about, let me clear this out here. I want to talk about why are black women so entrenched with Democrats. I think I spelled Democrats wrong. So I'll just put Dems. Hold on. Let me edit that. There we go. There we go, with the Dems. Well, easy. This is an easy answer. It's because the Democratic Party has empowered them. That's it. You got to remember, I'll tell you a story that my aunt told me. Rest in peace. She said, here's what black men do not understand. She said, black men do not understand that black women, some of the first jobs they had was working for white women, working in their homes, taking care of their kids. Well, black women would go into these homes all the time, and they would see how nice Miss Betsy had it. Miss Betsy had a stereo. Miss Betsy had a TV. Miss Betsy had nice beds for their kids. They had nice beds for her and the husband to sleep in. They had a radio, whatever you want to say, okay? They had a yard. Then she would leave that job and go home, whether she walked home or she took the bus home, and she got to her home with her black husband, and she saw that they didn't have the nice TV. They didn't have the nice couch. They didn't have the nice cadenza. They didn't have the fine china. They didn't have the nice bed. They didn't have the nice silverware, okay? That started building resentment. Now, those same white women who had the nice houses and things like that, they go knocking on her door, the black woman's door, and say, well, you can have the same thing I can. They took that deal. They took the butter biscuits. So when you hear black men say, black women took the deal, they took the butter biscuits, that's what black men are talking about. I'm just trying to put it in layman's terms for you. And Dennis Sperling did a good job on talking about this. He went way more into depth than I ever could because I thought people knew this, but that's why they're so entrenched with the Democratic Party. And they have said 100 times, I need to put this up on the banner here. see here. Women have said, quote, they are the bone of the Dem Party. I'm going to put this up on the screen here, in quotes. Black women have said they are the backbone of the Democratic Party. They have openly campaigned on this. So if Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, loses this election, it will be because Black women did not deliver the proxy vote that they got put in charge of, which is Black men. This is why there's so much consternation at Black men. This is why it's happening. And again, I said this is going to happen, and it's happening. I said, quote, if we get within 3 to 4 weeks of this election and it looks like Harris is going to lose, she's going to come flying at Black men. She is. And that's what they're doing. I mean, that's why you're seeing all these shows. That's why you're seeing it. So don't get it confused. So the reason why they're so entrenched with the Democratic Party is because the Democratic Party has empowered them through the feminist movement. Now, Black women did this, and Dennis Spurley hit on this very well. The Dems have allowed policies that help Black women at the expense of the Black family. That is what is happening. And Black men want their families to be put back together. And Black women don't want that. They want the power. They want the upliftment, so to speak. They want what comes with that because they're not the beauty standard in the United States of America or any Western country. The white woman is. And if she goes to Asia, the Asian woman is. If she goes to wherever countries, it goes to Italy, it's the Italian women. The only country they could go to is Africa. And then they have to deal with the African women, the women in all those African nations, Nigeria, South Africa, all those countries, over there. They're just not the beauty standard. So they believe that, well, I can just replace the beauty standard with having a job and paying my bills. And it's like, well, men are working every day of all ethnicities and they pay their bills. And you don't hear men walking around saying, well, I'm a strong, independent Italian man, or I'm a strong, independent Mexican man, or I'm a strong, whatever, fill in the blank. It's called being an adult. Paying your bills is being an adult. But the problem within the Black community is that the Democrats have allowed policies to help Black women at the expense of the Black family. And even though Black women know this is happening, they don't care. They have said they don't care. And that's the reality. So because women are being uplifted by the policies, because because Black women are being uplifted, because they're getting all this shine, henceforth Black girls magic, Black girls rock. When Black men are saying that, well, we're not going to vote for this anymore, they've interpreted that as what? They interpreted that as you hate Black women. That's why they're saying it. Like, why all of a sudden are Black women saying you Black men hate Black women? Because that's not true. But because Black women are being uplifted by the Democratic policies and at the expense of the family that they no longer care about, they said they no longer care about it. They are interpreting that as, well, you don't want to hear them saying Black girl magic and Black girls rock. You don't want that. Therefore, you hate me. That's why they're saying y'all hate Black women. Y'all, these men, they hate women. They hate Black women. They don't want to vote. And again, Kamala Harris is not Black. She's not. Shout out to what Tariq Nasheed said. We don't owe her anything, like, at all. I mean, she's not Adolf. She's not FBA. She was asked a specific question. Was she going to do anything for Black people? And she said no. I don't know. So I don't understand why this is so difficult for people to follow. But you're seeing the late great Kevin Samuels talked about shaming and insults and the need to be right, called it sign language. So that's what you're seeing. And again, Black men are like, when is this going to stop? I'm like, until it doesn't work. Because this normally works, right? Right? But you're seeing more Black women kind of back down. Now they're saying, well, if she loses, it's Black men's fault. I don't know how it's black men's fault when black women have openly campaigned for 45 years. They're the backbone of the Democratic Party. I mean, again, they can try, but these men are going to have these clips ready. That's what they're called, these little short clips where black women are saying, we're the backbone of the Democratic Party. Okay, then why did you lose? Because understand, if they're going to claim, again, it's a typical behavior. Oh, when the food is being cooked and it smells good, they want to take all the credit in the world. But as soon as it gets hard out here, as soon as it don't look like Big Mama gonna win, so to speak, all of a sudden it's somebody else's fault. I mean, as black men, we're so used to that at this point. Nothing is their fault. Safari put out tapes of Erica Mena hitting him and smacking him. What did she turn around and say? It was his fault I was doing. It's the same thing Amber Heard said about Johnny Depp. Well, I never did that to Johnny. What are you talking about? Then you can clearly hear her saying, that's why I hit you, Johnny. That's why I hit you. And she had to get up there on the stand and say, well, I forgot about that. Or I must have been upset about something. He made me upset. It's like, what woman, what are you talking about? But all these things here, you have to understand. You have black men out here who are going to want to argue, and all they have to say is black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. So if they lose, go talk to them. I'm literally don't understand. I understand at this point why there are men who don't do this. It's because they want to be able to make content. Fine. It just shows you're a trash ass content creator. This stuff has already been dissected and broken down. People have already written books on this stuff. So, and if I know it, how come these guys don't know it, right? So they have said that and because you're not willing to back the Democratic Party, their interpretation of it is you hate black women. That's their interpretation. That's their interpretation of it. You hate us. You don't want to see us get ahead. You don't want to see us succeed. And they're not wrong about that part because you are succeeding at the expense of black family. So no, we don't want to see you succeed because you're destroying the black family. And they're trying to reconstitute it through this, just do a blended family. You just marry a baby mama. No, not going to happen. Nobody marrying baby mamas. What did one guy say? B, if you marry a baby mama, it means you the first loser. It means you the first loser. So that's why all this stuff is now being said about black men. It's because these women, Kamala Harris represents the golden goose to these women. She is career driven. She has no children. She's married to a YT man. Okay. And she's ascended to a position of power. That's these women's wet dream. And the fact that they now see it starting to slip away from them, they're starting to go crazy. So they've already said, we're going to blame the men for this. Well, the men are just going to turn around and say, hey, look, you guys are the backbone of the party. Now that all of a sudden shit gets heavy, you leave, you try to break out. No, your back is broken, sis. Your back's broken. So that you can expect the butter biscuits that you got from having the proxy that you had to keep black men in an arrested development. That's coming off black men. That's going to come off of you. And now this state is going to come down on you. That's what's going to happen. And they can yell and scream and kick and all that kind of stuff. I still maintain the factual observation that they're going to yell and scream and kick and moan for about 3 to 4 weeks after this election, if Trump wins. But then they're going to turn to these men and they're going to say, talking about the men that are cheering, they're going to turn to the men and they're going to say, well, what do you have planned? What are you going to do? What's going to happen next? Kind of like that movie, The Candidate. What do we do now? Now, I got my answer last week. I had somebody tell me that, well, we don't care what they do. We're going to tell them to go back to the government and get their stuff. Oh, okay. Well, I got my answer. You see what I'm saying? I don't think that's feasible, but okay, it's still an answer. I'm not going to tear down the answer. I asked, I got an answer, right? So the question is now you're hearing these women say things like, well, they hope Trump wins, and when he don't do nothing, it'll make these black men look stupid. Okay, fair enough. It ain't no, it's fair enough. So, yeah, Trump, yeah, Democrats give female. Well, they both give females money. You got to remember, feminism wouldn't exist if the Republican Party didn't also co-sign it. Now, they don't like where it's at right now. They don't like where it's at right now. They're going crazy. So it is what it is. The Hulk says he's a proud black man who's raised with a black woman, and I don't have any of these problems with my friends. I mean, well, no, let me make this clear. The vast majority of black men don't have these problems. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm Gen X. I don't have this problem with black women. Like, not at all. This is something that, from what I can tell, started with the millennials who are trash anyway, right? So, no, you're not wrong about that at all. So, the black woman is the most copied woman on the face of the earth. Again, nobody's denying that. I will, that's not what I'm talking about, though. The problem is that they want some type of, they want some type of exalted recognition for it, and they're not getting it. And they're envious of white women. That's just the reality, Hawk. They're envious. No other, when these men go to other countries and date women from Thailand or from the Philippines, the first thing that happens is that they realize, whether they realize it or not subconsciously, that Filipino woman don't care about the white woman's beauty standard. That Thai woman don't care about the white woman's beauty standard. So she's in her more natural state. Black women are worried. They actually, it is part of their mental makeup to worry about this stuff. Again, Native American, hey, they had it bad too, right? Their women don't give a damn about the white beauty standard. Black women do. They just do. And that's what you're dealing with. Their insecurities, their anger, I don't have the same thing like SWP said. That one black woman said to him, we want maids. Again, they want the same thing the white woman has. They want the TV. They want the couch. They want that, the ironing board. She didn't have none of that when she walked into the house. What's up, Art? Appreciate the invite yesterday, bro. Didn't see it till like 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning. So, Optimum King said he's voting Republican and has since 2002. You started voting. Okay, yeah. I mean, again, and another thing you're seeing is you have some black men, not all. You have some black men who feel like they have to defend who and what they're voting for. There's no other group of men on planet Earth that's going around defending who they're voting for. You see what I'm saying? But that's how trash some of these men are. They are. I mean, it is what it is. D-Rex says it ain't over till it's over. No, you're right. I mean, that's why I said before, based on the way this information is coming in that I have seen, that I've actually seen internal things, there's a reason why Kamala Harris is touring with Liz Cheney. See, she didn't break. Liz Cheney should have been out there in the summertime. Okay, that way she could talk to these suburban white women, because it's the vote that's going to hurt them is the suburban white married woman. The feminists don't understand. White feminists do not understand that a married white woman has a different priority than a single white woman. The single white woman is voting for autonomy. She's voting to be able to do whatever she wants. The married woman is voting based on the tax cut and what her family needs. And that's two different priorities. Yes, they're both white. They both have breasts. They both have vaginas. That's true. But in the end, they have voted. It's called a voting pattern. That woman has a different pattern. Willie Pete 2005, 09. Yeah, I think he was for a lot of people. Shout out to him. He actually came online to try to figure out what was going on. But like he said, he realized, hey, look, the men aren't the issue. It's not that the men don't have some issues, but overall, the men just are not the issue. It is the women. So it is what it is. And like I said before, if Kamala Harris loses this election, it will be black women's fault because there's no one else to blame. This is what I've said before. They can't blame black men because black men are going to say, well, hey, we left. Remember Brexit? You all made fun of that. We left. Don't blame us. They're not going to blame white females because they're suburbanites and they need their votes. They're not going to blame the Native Americans because they're actively courting them. They're not going to blame the Latino community because they're actively going after them. This is kind of reminds me of that Avengers movie when Tony Stark threatened Loki. When he said, you know what, it's all on you, big man. Because, maybe your army comes, maybe it doesn't, maybe it overwhelms us, but we'll just come to you. And that's what's going to happen to these women. That's what's going to happen to these women. When the state comes down on them, you're already seeing it with these women getting arrested, with these women being, they're getting fired now, just as I said they would. How do you end the Me Too movement? You don't hire women. Again, that's what you're seeing. These women, that's what they're saying. They're doing all these interviews. Nobody's going to call them back. Yeah, because guys in those offices don't want to work with women anymore. So they're not going to hire them. Now, do they have to, by legally, they don't have to anymore. They interview, they're going to interview women, but they're not going to hire them. That's just the reality of this. So obviously people are grifters these days. Well, yeah, man, that's a legal term. So I won't throw that around, but I understand why Courtney Michelle said that. So, but according to the interpretation, if your interpretation is that you hate black women because you don't vote Democrat, something's wrong. I agree. That's not my interpretation at all. That is these women's interpretation that are saying that the reason why they don't want Harris to win is because they hate black women. Well, Kamala Harris is not black, and there's a very good chance that these men don't align with her value system. They don't want to even take that into consideration. So millennials, so I had to stand down now. Fair enough. But I'm about to get on off here. It's a little after 9:00. So, and when you wake up tomorrow, you're 12 days away from the election, and you have to remember the last time there was an election. It took them till Saturday. The election was Tuesday. So you had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It took them 5 days to figure out who the winner was. So you better brace yourself for that. And the next thing you need to understand is that when the election is happening, you need to start listening to words like overperforming and underperforming. You're going to hear terms like maybe they say Trump is overperforming with African Americans. Maybe they say Harris is underperforming Joe Biden in the suburbs. See how those are the key terms you want to listen to. Or Kamala Harris is overperforming in the suburbs. I mean, it can be something that simple. But when you listen to the surrogates now and you listen to the people online, if that's what you want to do, they are clearly acting like Harris is going to lose this election now, which is a bit. And I've said this before. When these men saw these numbers come out in the summertime, they were mad at the polls. Well, houses, this is not right. There's no way. Okay. Now the polls, again, same data method of collecting, same polls, same amount of people polled. Now it looks better for Trump. And all of a sudden, those same men are, oh, yeah, this is right. This is correct. It's like it's always been correct. It was never going to change. Here, let me do this. I'm gonna open it up here like I did last time. And just to see if anybody wants to come up here and try to knock me down. See what happens here. Last time Hammer came up here. Let's see what happens. Not a lot of people here. That's fair. But somebody wants to come up here and talk for about 15 minutes before I go to bed because I'm an old man. I got to take my Geritol. But so again, there's nothing wrong with these polls. The polls are not, they're just a snapshot of what's going on. And in the summertime, like I said, people's kids were at summer camp. People were doing vacations. People were, kids were home from school. They got part-time jobs. But at the end of the day, mom and dad had to sit down and deal with the inflation, all summer. Inflation, gas prices, food prices. Shout out to what Ice Cube said. Whichever one of these candidates is seen looking like they're going to be able to get money in the hands of black people the fastest is where black people are going to end up putting their votes. I agree with Ice Cube. I agree with Ice Cube. All right, another minute here. See if anybody wants to come in. There's the link. So if you what is this? Your vote means you're not a Christian. Yeah, it's silly on both sides. It's silliness on both sides. I agree. Excuse me. But the Optimist is saying that he votes locally. Yeah, that's what I do. I want to control my legislature. And again, really think about it. These men say they want paternity fraud laws. They want all that. That's your state. That is your state with those laws. And I think Dennis Sperling spoke on that over a year ago, saying that in order for you to get that law changed, you're going to have to replace the money because the state makes a lot of money. They don't care who the paternity goes to. I agree it's morally wrong, but that's why I've said before, you have to argue from a sense of moral turpitude. You have to take the high road and say, look, if we can't have a justice system that's putting innocent people in prison over children that are not theirs, you're going to get a lot of people on your side. But where these men go wrong is saying that they're Republicans, but all of a sudden, now they want big daddy government to come in federally and do something about the child support laws. Like, no, that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. So, well, come on, but you're Gen, yeah, if you're Gen Z is Gen Z, y'all need to go away. Hold on, Gen Z? No, millennials is the problem. Did I say Gen Z? I meant millennials. Millennials are trash. So you can come on up here. We can have a 10-minute conversation. So, but at the end of the day, that's where we're at with all this. So that's why these women are saying that. That's why I think shout out to Shed Charday on Twitter. She said it too. The 2 Tuesdays from now is going to be Blame Black Men Day. And ultimately, you're going to be blaming black women because they're the backbone of the party. That's all you have to say. Like, hey, look, I'm not going to blame a group of people. Black women are running around saying they're the backbone of the Democratic Party. So if they don't win, how is that anybody else's fault but their fault? Okay. That's like the head coach saying, that's like, again, black women are like coaches that they want all the credit when things go right, but when things go bad, it ain't their fault. Well, it's not my fault. I don't coordinate the defense. It's not my fault he fumbled the ball. The offensive line should have blocked. But aren't you the head coach? Yeah, but I don't coach the players on the offensive line. That we have an offensive line, and that's what these women sound like. I mean, that's literally what it sounds like. So, I mean, they had Kamala Harris go get a pastor, and people were saying that same pastor cheated on his wife not once but twice, something like that. So I don't know. But all right, guys, it's 9:15. I'm about. So remember, we looked at the map again. Based on 538, Trump is ahead. Trump's going to win this election. It's got Trump winning Pennsylvania. He's up by whatever 0.2%. But for the sake of the map, I want to make sure you all saw that. Yeah, so it's looking like, and I still think you can see what happened in 16, which is Clinton lost the Electoral College, but won the popular vote. So there's a very good chance more people vote for Harris, but because of the way it's allocated out, it's Trump will win the Electoral College. All right, guys, that's it. That was my last election show I'm doing. The next election show I'm doing is the night of the election, where I'll be online for a long time. I already know I'm planning on coming online. Pause. I'm planning on jumping online about 6:15, and I'm going to stay on to about midnight. So that'll just be open. Anybody can pop in. That's the link will be there early. So anybody wants to pop on and talk. So again, my next election show is the day of the election. That is November 3rd. Let's see here. November 5th, 6th, 7th. All right, yeah, November 5th. All right. See you guys then. Deuces.